There is a reason why the most intelligent people in history have often been ignored, feared, or even hated. It is not because they were wrong. It is because they saw things that others could not. Society does not like people who think too much. It does not trust those who question everything. Because intelligence is dangerous. It disrupts. It exposes. It forces people to confront truths they would rather avoid. Have you ever noticed how, in a group, people prefer those who agree with them? How do they celebrate those who fit in, but push away those who think differently? If you have ever felt out of place, if you have ever struggled to connect with people because your mind works differently, if you have ever been punished, not for being wrong, but for seeing too much, then you already know what I am talking about. Arthur Schopenhauer once said, "A high degree of intellect tends to make a man unsocial." But have you ever wondered why? Why does intelligence create distance instead of connection? Why do deep thinkers make others uncomfortable? And why does society, intentionally or not, try to silence those who refuse to think like everyone else? By the end of this video, you will understand why intelligence is both a gift and a curse, why the world does not celebrate deep thinkers, it fears them, and why, no matter how much society resists, the truth always finds a way to break through. But to fully understand this, we have to start with a disturbing reality: why the world is built to keep intelligent people silent. Imagine this. You are in a room full of people. The conversation is flowing, laughter is in the air, but something feels off. The words being spoken feel empty. The topics seem meaningless. You try to engage, but the moment you say something deeper, something real, you feel the shift. The awkward pause, the subtle discomfort. You realize something. People do not want depth. They want comfort. They do not want to challenge their beliefs. They want validation. They do not want to think about reality. They want to escape it. And that is where the problem begins. Highly intelligent people are not dangerous because they are smarter. They are dangerous because they see too much, understand too deeply, and refuse to look away. They challenge the illusions that society is built on, and that is something most people cannot tolerate. Arthur Schopenhauer believed that society is divided into two types of people: the majority, who live on the surface, and the minority, who seek the truth beneath it. The majority finds comfort in traditions, social norms, and collective thinking. But the minority? They ask questions that shake the foundation of everything. Why do we follow systems that do not serve us? Why do we believe things without questioning them? Why do we fear change, even when we know it is necessary? These questions make people uncomfortable, because to answer them, they would have to admit that most of what they believe is not based on truth, but on conditioning. History has proven this time and time again. Socrates was sentenced to death for corrupting the minds of the youth. Galileo was silenced for proving the earth was not the center of the universe. Nietzsche was ridiculed for claiming that morality was a human invention. It is the same pattern, repeated throughout time. When someone sees beyond the illusions, society does not listen. It fights back. And this is why intelligent people often feel disconnected from the world around them, not because they are incapable of fitting in, but because they see the flaws in what they are expected to conform to. This is not just an intellectual struggle, it is a psychological burden. Because when the world around you refuses to see what you see, you begin to question yourself. Am I the problem? Am I overthinking? Would life be easier if I just stopped questioning everything? But here is the truth. You are not the problem. You are simply awake in a world that prefers to stay asleep. And that is exactly why intelligence can feel like both a gift and a curse. But to understand this feeling fully, we need to go even deeper. We need to explore why intelligence creates isolation, why deep thinkers struggle with connection, and why society instinctively resists those who refuse to follow the crowd. There is an old saying, ignorance is bliss. But what they do not tell you is that awareness is isolation. Because the moment you begin to see the world clearly, the moment you recognize the patterns, the illusions, and the unspoken truths, you stop belonging to it. Arthur Schopenhauer believed that most people do not think for themselves. They adopt beliefs, follow traditions, and accept what they are told, not because it is true, but because it is easier. He argued that intelligence is a double-edged sword. It allows you to understand reality, but it also forces you to see the emptiness in the things that give others comfort. Think about it. Most people find happiness in social validation, routine, and blind optimism. They follow trends, accept authority without question, and avoid deep thinking because it disrupts their sense of security. But intelligent people, they cannot ignore reality. They see the contradictions, the hypocrisy, the hidden mechanisms that control human behavior. Psychologists call this the burden of awareness. The more you understand, the harder it is to engage in meaningless conversations, to participate in traditions that make no sense, to pretend that everything is fine when you know it is not. This is why intelligent people often feel alone in a crowded room. It is not because they cannot connect, it is because they cannot unsee what they see. Schopenhauer compared intelligent people to eagles flying high above the world. From above, they see everything: the roads, the rivers, the people moving in predictable patterns. But those on the ground, they only see what is in front of them. And when they look up at the eagle, they do not admire it. They fear it, because it sees what they cannot. This is why intelligence is often misunderstood. It is not about being better, but about seeing deeper. And when you see deeper, you start to notice something disturbing. Most people do not want the truth. History has proven this over and over again. Socrates questioned society, so they poisoned him. Galileo revealed scientific truths, so they silenced him. Nietzsche exposed the illusions of morality, so they called him insane. The pattern is always the same. The moment someone challenges the accepted way of thinking, society pushes back. Not because the truth is dangerous, but because it is inconvenient. And that is why intelligent people feel resistance. Not just from individuals, but from society itself. The world is designed to reward those who follow, not those who question. But this creates an even deeper problem. When an intelligent person realizes they do not fit in, they have two choices. Either they conform and betray their own mind, or they embrace their isolation and walk their own path. And this is where the real battle begins. The battle between fitting in and staying true to what you see. So the question is, how do you navigate this? How do you live in a world that does not understand the way you think? And how do you turn this so-called burden of intelligence into an advantage instead of a curse? That is exactly what we will explore next. Society claims to value intelligence. It celebrates scientists, philosophers, and great thinkers, but only when they are dead. When they are alive, it does everything it can to silence them. Why? Because intelligence is not just about knowledge. It is about disruption. An intelligent mind questions authority, challenges traditions, and refuses to accept things simply because that is how they have always been. And that makes intelligent people dangerous. Schopenhauer believed that most people do not want to think. They want to be told what to think. They follow the systems in place, obey the rules, and live within the boundaries that society has created for them. But the intelligent mind, it refuses to be controlled. Think about this. Why do governments fear intellectual revolutions? Why do corporations manipulate public thinking? Why does religion punish those who question its foundations? Because intelligence is a threat to control. An intelligent person does not blindly follow. They analyze, they deconstruct. They look at the foundation of power structures and see the cracks that others ignore. And when you see the cracks, you can break free. This is why intelligence is met with resistance. Not because it is wrong, but because it disrupts the illusion of stability. History has shown us this time and time again. Giordano Bruno was burned alive for suggesting the universe was infinite. Nikola Tesla died in poverty because his ideas threatened powerful industries. Galileo was imprisoned because his discoveries contradicted religious beliefs. These were not criminals. They were thinkers. But society only tolerates intelligence when it is convenient. The moment it becomes a threat, it is rejected. Even today, you see this happening. Look around. Schools teach students what to think, not how to think. Media feeds people stories, not truths. Social norms pressure people to conform, not to question. And if someone refuses to play along, they are labeled as difficult, arrogant, or out of touch. That is the hidden truth. Society does not fear intelligence itself. It fears what intelligence can do. It fears the person who sees through the lies. It fears the mind that cannot be controlled. It fears the thinker who refuses to accept reality as it is. Because one intelligent mind can do something terrifying, it can wake others up. And that is the one thing society cannot afford. So, what does this mean for you? If intelligence creates resistance, isolation, and fear, how do you use it as a strength instead of a weakness? That is exactly what we will uncover next. Knowing the truth is not enough. If you are intelligent, if you see things that others do not, then you have two choices. Either you let society isolate you, make you doubt yourself, and push you into silence, or you learn how to use your intelligence as a weapon, as a tool, as a force that cannot be ignored. But how? How do you survive in a world that does not want deep thinkers? How do you use your intelligence without becoming a target? The answer lies in three powerful strategies. First, master the art of adaptation. Schopenhauer believed that a wise man does not reveal his full depth to everyone, not because he is afraid, but because he understands that most people are not ready for the truth. An intelligent person must learn when to speak and when to stay silent. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every argument is worth winning. Because the truth is, most people are not looking for answers. They are looking for confirmation of what they already believe. So instead of forcing people to see what they do not want to see, observe, learn how they think, adapt to their language, speak in a way that makes them listen instead of resist. A lion does not need to prove its strength to every animal in the jungle. It knows what it is, and that is enough. Second, build strength, not just knowledge. Intelligence alone is not enough. The world does not respect intelligence. It respects power. That is why many highly intelligent people struggle. They have brilliant ideas, deep insights, and powerful thoughts, but they lack the strength to defend them, apply them, and turn them into action. History proves this. The most influential minds were not just thinkers, they were doers. Leonardo da Vinci did not just imagine, he built. Marcus Aurelius did not just philosophize, he ruled. Tesla did not just invent, he challenged the biggest industries of his time. You must combine intelligence with strength. Strength of mind, so you do not let society break you. Strength of will, so you do not doubt yourself. Strength of action, so your ideas are not just thoughts but reality. Because the world does not change because of knowledge. It changes because of those who have the power to use it. Third, find the right people. One of the biggest mistakes intelligent people make is trying to fit into the wrong crowd. They waste time explaining themselves to people who will never understand them. They seek validation from those who are incapable of giving it. But here is the truth. You do not need to fit in everywhere. You just need to find the right place. Nietzsche believed that intelligent people should not chase society's approval. Instead, they should seek out like-minded individuals, those who think deeply, question boldly, and refuse to accept mediocrity. Because isolation is not about being alone. It is about being surrounded by the wrong people. So stop trying to be understood by those who cannot understand you. Stop trying to change minds that do not want to change. Instead, find those who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to grow. The world does not belong to those who follow. It belongs to those who think, those who see beyond the surface, those who are not afraid to question, to challenge, to disrupt. But here is the truth that no one will tell you. Intelligence is only as powerful as the person who controls it. You have two choices. You can hide your intelligence, suppress your thoughts, and force yourself to fit into a world that was never designed for deep thinkers. You can play small, stay silent, and let society dictate who you should be. Or you can embrace what you are. You can use your intelligence as a force, as a tool, as an unstoppable power. You can stop waiting for the world to understand you, and instead create your own path, your own reality, your own meaning. Arthur Schopenhauer once said, Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. If you are watching this, chances are you see things differently. You think in ways most people do not. And that is not a curse. It is your greatest strength. But strength means nothing if it is not used. So ask yourself, what will you do with yours? The choice is yours. If this video made you think differently, if it spoke to something deep inside you, then you are exactly the kind of mind we need in this community. Subscribe now and join a space where intelligence is not feared, it is celebrated. And if you found value in this, leave a like. Not for the algorithm, but to let us know that there are still minds out there that refuse to be silenced. Now go out there and use your intelligence. The world needs it more than ever.